What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Wrench. Today, we got another review. This time, Redwood Empire Haystack Needle Single Barrel Barrel Proof Bourbon. First and foremost, can we talk about how freaking cool this glass is? I mean, the bottle alone, this bottle cost $100-some. Guess what? As a collector, I want this bottle just for that. I mean, it's a tree. Look at that. It's a redwood tree. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get in the stats of this. Redwood Empire single barrel, grain to glass. Now, I think that's something new with the Haystack needles. And a matter of fact, I should probably check. Let's check the old one here. Yes, so distilled in Indiana. They used to source from MGP, and then I think a lot of them were finished. Like this one was finished in a Cabernet, but this is now their stuff, grain to glass, all there. So the stats, yeah, distilled and bottled by Redwood Empire Distilling. This is Haystack Needle. Mash bill, 51% corn, 44 rye, 2.5% wheat, 2.5% malted barley. So a little 4 grain here. Aged 8 years, so they got their own stuff, age stated 8 years. Proof 116.6. Barrel type New American Oak. Char level 3. Water source Russian River Aquifer. Distilled grain to glass in Sonoma County, California. Freaking awesome. Now this is interesting. Specially selected barrel for Arkansas. So I'm guessing mine's not. If you get this, you need to see what yours says. Maybe it's specially selected for your state. I don't know how all that works. I don't think there's many of these. There could be. But yeah, let's get into this sucker. This is a fresh crack. I mean, I just wanted to get into this fresh. No opinions, no outside anythings. I just wanted to drink it and see for myself right here in front of the camera. And remember, if you're like me, you need to definitely cut the little strip there to make it look nice and clean. You don't want to be a degenerate just ripping that off, okay? I mean, look how beautiful the bottle is. Whoop. Dude, I'm honestly so excited. This is a freaking cool bottle. It's probably one of the coolest bottles, I think, in the game. It's kind of like old Fitz, You just gotta have one for the bottle. Now, let's get into this sucker. I'm gonna smell it, taste it, see what I think about it, if it's worth the 115 bones, and if you should try and get one. On the nose. Nice. Now I'm honestly, the previous Haystack needles were fantastic, but you gotta realize that was age dated 12 year, 13, 14, whatever they were, MGP, and then finished. This is just a high rye 4 grain bourbon, 8 year age dated. So it is very fruity. Like that rye, that high rye content, I mean, that is red freaking fruit. Redwood Empire, red fruit. There you go. That is, this will be the perfect back porch sipping pour. I'm calling it now. It's thick though, too. Like it's like I'm almost smelling a little bit of a syrupy, okay? Cherry, raspberry, like I can tell that thing's gonna coat the mouth. I mean, it just smells like it's gonna be dense. I think there is a nice layer of oak in there too. So super sweet, cherry, preserves, and then some oak, a little bit of vanilla, blah, blah, blah. Bourbon, let's get into it. It just smells good. Whoa, that is a fruit bomb. You would almost think that that's finished by how sweet, like, when you drink Buffalo Trace, this is like cherry, cough syrup, freaking all the red fruits. This has that vibe, I'm not gonna lie. Almost bubblegum. It's crazy how fruity that is. I think if you threw this in a blind and you asked, is this finished? I think it's fruity enough to where you would be persuaded, I don't know, that's gotta be finished in something. Second sip, little less fruity. I think the initial, the first time you try it, that was a shock of, it's gotta be that high rye content. I've noticed they have another one. They have a high rye bourbon. It was like that. It was super red fruit, just sweet fruitiness. It's like that. Which one is that? This one right here, the Devil's Tower. One of my favorite bottles of last year. If you watch my best of 2024, this was on there. I think this is probably the best comparison in terms of what could that taste like. I will say, I don't know if you'll be able to see the color that well. Considerably darker on the Haystack needle. Shoot, I didn't even realize that. That looks like freaking apple juice. Let's look at the breakdown on this Devil's Tower, because I'm telling you, if you weren't able to get this one, this is probably, I think, your best alternative in the Redwood Empire line. 51 corn on both. This is 44% rye. This is 45% rye. And then the malt and the wheat are 2%. So they just added 0.5% more of wheat and malted barley and dropped the rye 1%. So very similar. And that's where I was thinking, like, man, that is so fruity. Yeah, I think if you can't get this one, that's a good alternative. But I didn't even realize until pulling that out, the color is crazy. These are aged at least 5 years. So 3 years different. I don't know what else they did then. Because that's freaking, well, I guess probably just not, proofing it down or anything. The color difference is nuts. And you can definitely, I think even if it's 3 years, you can see the development that this does not have. And really only thinking about that one is, do you see that? Like, this one's way deeper, richer, more complex than that one is. The more I go back to it, I think maybe my palate's getting used to the red fruit. I'm starting to get a lot more of the age. If anything, I would say that drink's like a 10-year-old bourbon. A bit more of the char, burnt sugar, burnt brown sugar, stuff like that. Just freaking delicious. This is great. I'm thoroughly impressed. I was kind of worried, not gonna lie, because typically when you switch from a really good bottle, people who are sourcing really good stuff from MGP, like the Haystack, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, I think they even had a 15. I don't know. They're crazy numbers for MGP bourbon. And they were fan-freaking-tastic. And it always worries me when you do that, and then you switch to your own stuff, the discrepancy between them is so drastic that it just ruins the bottle for me. Like, dude, you put out one of the best bottles of all time, and then you put your own stuff in it, and it's just nowhere freaking close. I think this has room to grow. I think this is only gonna get exponentially better. I think where it's at right now is really good, and it's a great segment away from the MGP stuff into their own distillate in there. I guess my issue would be, yeah, the price is pretty high. $115 for that 8-year bourbon is like, dang, like I wish that wasn't a thing. If anything, I would want this in a perfect world, $80, $90. But it's not too much more marked up to me. So, and the bottle. Come on, the bottle's freaking cool. And they plant trees when you buy a bottle. Overall, I'm happy with this. For one, great collector piece in the bottle. Two, I think it's delicious. I think it's a great pour. I think that's, I think it showcases, I think it shows a bright, bright future. I already knew the future was freaking bright with Redwood, but seeing some of it's probably their oldest stuff. They don't really say that, but it's gotta be their oldest stuff they have. 8 years. This is gonna be a monster one of these days. I'm telling you, it's gonna be freaking nuts. If your 8-year-old bourbon tastes this good, or whatever you did to this, what kind of magic, Redwood magic, it's probably that Russian river water, okay? That being said, is this for everyone? I don't know. I wouldn't say so. I can't recommend people just going out and spending $115 on a good bottle of bourbon. There's plenty of good bourbons out for 60 bucks. My case in point, this guy, you know, 60 bucks or whatever they are. Any of their stuff, really, all their other stuff, some of them's cheaper, 30, 40. They got $50, $60 bottles. They got $80 bottles. All of them are great in their own right. Totally worth a try. If you're someone into the little higher end stuff, I think it's worth picking up. So there's your alternative. You want a cheaper one? This, I think, is the closest resemblance in terms of, you know, the mash bills are nearly identical. Both pretty fruity, perfect for the springtime coming up. So if anyone was curious about this one, I don't know how much talk this new Redwood Empire's gotten, but the bottle caught my attention. I figured, got to get the review out. So there we have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you've tried this, let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment down below about anything. Just say hey, say Trev sucks, say Redwood Empire is delicious. Leave a like, subscribe, check out the Bourbon Wrench Patreon. Got a lot of cool stuff coming to you guys in 2025. And until next time, Trev Wilson, I'll see you in the next video.